We have winter oats and winter and spring barley. This is a field of winter oats. We plan to get almost all our winter grain sown by the 15th of September. This gives us a good bit of growth for us early on, gets a good cover to keep the weeds out, but also it gives us enough growth to let us put weaned calves onto this in December, and then the last thing they do before they're housed, and then it'll be grazed on their at turnout again in the spring, mainly to help it reduce disease, and also gives us 2 to 3 weeks extra grazing through the winter. We've got 50 hectares of cereals, 36 of it is winter oats. It's traditional ploughed and then combi drilled. We don't roll it. Main reason is so if there is any weeds, it's easily harrowed to pull them out again. It'll be then harrowed in the spring, and then that's it, the gate's shut until harvest time. We have got one small trial going just now of direct drilling, which is basically ploughing out a grassland, planting spring barley, and then over sowing clover into that. Through to harvest, we then direct drill in winter oats into the clover, and then that is our fertility building and our weed suppression for that crop for the year. And then we'll do it again to get 3 crops out, and then it'll be just dissed up and sown with herbal after that, which traditional, or sort of what we do now, we aim to get 3 crops of cereal, and then after the last crop, which will be winter oats, it's disked before the middle of August and planted a herbal lay, and that's how we establish our grass. It's just disked and then straight into a combi drill, and that's it. All our grass that's sown now is a herbal lay, and it's all the same mixture, 20 different ingredients really, and it's just planted after our cereal rotation, and then it'll hopefully be there in some form for 8 to 10, 12 years, something like that. There's 20% of the mix by weight is clover. There's chicory, there's festorium, Timothy cocksfoots adds up to 30%, and there's only one ryegrass, which is just Toddington, which is a late one. We don't use ryegrass very much now at all. Yeah, even though we plant the same herbal mix every time, it establishes different every year. So some years the grasses will be more dominant, and other years there'll be a lot of chicory planting, and other years it's a lot of red clover. Can't really put our finger on what causes it, but as long as there's a good mix established, we don't really care what comes up. Yeah, so when it comes to grazing these cereals in the winter, we've got 2 benefits really. Probably the main one on the cereal side is disease reduction. Yeah, it can wipe out an awful lot of just dirty stuff, and at the time it's got a lot of root reserves within a week it's back to the same height as it was. And yeah, a bit of extra tailoring cleans out any weeds, but it is like cattle could make a mess of ploughed, drilled land, so they're only in it for a couple of days in each field, and by the time they get round each field, you're at your 2 weeks or whatever it is. So whereas you put in cows into here, they would sink out of sight, but young stock are fine. And it's the stock side is it's an extra 2 weeks grazing in the middle of winter.